Hello, this is Francia coming to you from the ATL, and I am going to discuss today ways to heal our planet and ourselves. Basically, I was inspired by somebody I follow. Actually, a lot of people I follow are just so insightful. Um, One is Gooby and Dooby. Gooby had some really good insightful things to say about trying to escape the society and just go into the woods and forage and get away from the culture that is so sucking us dry, and how that's not really realistic to life. You really can't get away from society on this planet anymore, and there's better ways to come about living. And also Alicia Renice, I hope I'm saying her name right. Um, she inspired me to get out into nature and really appreciate the nature around us and ways we can incorporate nature back into our lives. Um, that's something I've always believed in from I was a little girl, how nature can heal the soul. And she reminded me to just share that with everyone else. Ways to be outside and be mindful of the nature, the birds, life around us. And she too gets frustrated with the planes and helicopters flying ahead. That drives me nuts. And I thought I was the only one who just doesn't like the breaking of the silence with these large vehicles, these large transports. Could be frustrating for the mind sometimes. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is ways to heal our planet and ourselves. Where we can not be hopeless that the world is just falling apart and we are losing our biodiversity, our environment, climate change wreaking havoc. There's some things we can do to kind of change the way we see things on a micro scale that will eventually affect the macro scale. And the first thing that I think is important is nurturing compassion and community. Nurturing compassion with ourselves, being compassionate towards the soul, ourselves, our community, and the world. Compassion towards Earth, respecting that she does need our compassion. And we need compassion towards each other to solve some of these toxic ways people are communicating, particularly in the social media sphere, where you see in the comments and they're actual bots to create rage bait and all kinds of negative ways of communicating with each other. And I believe we can just keep nurturing compassion towards each other to change that. And one particular project that I really respect is out of the Dalai Lama's. The Dalai Lama created a curriculum. His sect, his he, from a secular perspective, not just Buddhist, not just Christian, not just Muslim, just a secular curriculum to teach people, to teach children, educators, families about compassion, nurturing compassion with each other and within community. and creating different ways of communicating so we are not so aggressive with each other. And I think that's a beautiful concept that is being spread across classrooms and communities all across the globe already. And I'm so grateful for that. I just love that concept. And that concept is being built through Emory University. It's called the Compassion Project. And the Dalai Lama has a connection with Emory University. And he, they have a lot of, you would say that's his university, really. It's his platform to get messages out to the Western community. And yeah, so the Compassion Project through Emory University and the Dalai Lama is available for free at the Compassion Project. Just Google Compassion Project, Emory or Dalai Lama, and you'll find it. And you can download free curriculum for your community, for your students, for your, whether it's your classroom or your homeschool classroom or your church or whatever community you have. You can share this curriculum with them. It's just a beautiful concept. And we can nurture community. You see it in the climate change outreach people have, like the way the world cared for Jamaica after this massive storm. Probably one of the most record-breaking wind gusts ever known to man to attack, to a nation. Jamaica suffered, I believe it was 252 mile per hour gusts of winds, something just crazy. And it was just so shocking how bad it was. And the world showed so much love to Jamaica and other islands that were suffered. And I appreciate that so much as a Jamaican. I just appreciate the world's love so much. And that's nurturing compassion. That's caring for your neighbor, even if it's on a global scale, caring for your neighbor. Another way we can heal our planet and ourselves is by getting away from dependence on wild-scale agriculture, by independent growing, gardening, and farming on a smaller scale that promotes biodiversity, and a permaculture mindset where we have many crops and not monoculture, getting away from monoculture farming. That is a big way to solve so many of our problems. Monoculture depletes the soil, makes us reliant on unnatural substances like pesticide control and harmful fertilizers that poison the water. If we can get away from these things that poison our soil and prevent our wildlife from being able to truly enjoy the plants around us that we grow, we need more diversity, biodiversity. And one way we can heal that is by growing our own gardens. A simple act is growing your own food to take some pressure off the big, the big, the, I'm losing my words, but agribusiness, basically. Just the big picture, we're making it smaller is really key to solving some of our problems. We rely too much on processed food in the West, and being out in the East in Thailand, I saw how good natural foods can be for the body. Cooking, having our fast foods, not fast food. Like, what if we just get rid of McDonald's? I know McDonald's doesn't want to go away, but we need to get rid of things like that. What if every McDonald's was actually a mom and pop store providing healthy foods, growing, using the kitchen to feed people healthily, small mom and pops, businesses, promote small businesses, not these massive corporations that feed us toxic waste, basically. Can you imagine if we were able to just get fresh food in our little, like we're on the road trip, and instead of relying on a processed fish sandwich or Big Mac or something, or Burger King or Chick-fil-A, we actually relied on a mom and pop to feed us. That's how it used to be, and that's the way it should be. We need to get away from the processed foods and get farm to table foods. Have the best meals of our lives by going back out to the garden, bringing it in, and preparing the food. Simple as that. It will save our hearts, our bodies. It will nurture our spirits. It's nurture our souls and nurture our bodies. I love the push to garden. I love that I'm seeing more people gardening and looking up homesteads, like what they can do on their little land, on their 3/4 of an acre, or what they can do in their lawns, how they save the leaves now instead of just destroying the leaves, because the leaves are homes and a blanket for the earth in the wintertime for the animals and insects that thrive in the leaf beds so they can come about in the spring. But that blanket of leaves, people are now learning we don't need to destroy the leaves. They feed the compost that they create. They build such compost and such nurturing for our garden beds by placing the leaves on. They decompose, and they are rich mulch for the next season in our garden beds. We are learning to respect Mother Earth and what she gives us instead of just taking and taking without giving back. And the last one that I think is really important is getting away from our reliance on fossil fuels. We really need to promote alternative methods of fuel. We can't go on like this, polluting our earth. We cannot take any more out of the planet. Every time we take out of the planet and take away, we bring what is buried and supposed to be stay buried to the earth, to the top of the earth, into the soil, into the waters, and we pollute what was supposed to be buried. And it will come up when the time has come up. Mother Earth will bring what she wants to bring up from the bottoms, from the dregs, when she's ready. We don't need to interfere with that process because that is what is killing us. Killing our water, killing our air, killing our soil. So the quicker we come up with different ways of getting around, we transform our cars and vehicles. We use less of the fossil fuels to the point we are not using them at all. We can't let the lobbyists of these fossil fuel companies win. I understand we're convenienced, but we cannot stay that way. We cannot. We have to break free if we are going to survive. Simple as that. So those are my 3 ways: nurturing compassion, getting away from agribusiness, wide-scale, massive agribusiness that creates monoculture and lacks diversity in the landscape for our wildlife and insects, and getting away from reliance on fossil fuels. Those are the 3 steps we all can take. We can insist that our legislators and we can fight back against the lobbies that promote these businesses that are not good for our planet. Just by being aware, read your news, and not necessarily the news that is about death and killing. Read the news about lawsuits against fossil fuel companies. Read about COP30, where the indigenous people are coming together to stop fossil fuels being pumped out of the Amazon. And they're asking for more protections for indigenous communities. Read that news. Read the news that doesn't just tell you the destruction. Like, there's this group, the Southern Legal Conference, SCLC, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure. But they focus on the legal aspects of protecting southern waters. And I'm sorry I can't give you more clarity on this. I forget the name. But they focus on legal protections on our waters and our land around the South. And they do good work. Just finding the nonprofits and the legal, the ACLU, and getting those mailers in your email to show you what work is being done by people to make the world better. Finding the good news. I get nice news and good news in my email box as well. And I focus on the positive stories, the research, the science that's doing positive things on the planet. There are ways to combat the negativity. Get the good news. and focus on building community within the good news communities. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Peace and blessings. Peace, blessings, and love. And remember to nurture compassion in your life. Take care.